Hey everyone, I hope you all had an amazing weekend and a nice and relaxing Saturday, and welcome to another FPL video. Today we're gonna talk about Gaming 33, and it's a very short deadline, so Tuesday is the deadline for this gaming, so please don't forget it. And so I'm making this video on Sunday as soon as possible, because we only have 1 or maybe 2 days to think about our transfers and consider what we are going to do. Now, before we do that, let's see where my team is at the moment. So as you can see here, it's a red arrow for me, down to 2.7k in the world. So to be honest, I did expect this to happen this game week, because if you watched the previous videos, you would know that my team was on a -8 hit, but nonetheless I'm very happy with how my team looks for the upcoming game weeks, and I think my team is very strong, and hopefully the green arrows will be back in gaming 33, and I can push forward to the top 1k. That's the goal for the end of the season. Now let's see how my bus team for gaming 33 looks at the moment. So here it is on the screen, and just 1 second, it needs to load up. So here it is. I have a couple of problematic positions. So the goalkeeper position is the first problem for me for this game week. Now I just finished watching the Man United versus Brighton game in the FA Cup, and Sanchez was the starting goalkeeper for Brighton. So I'm not really sure what that means for Steele. Does it mean that he lost his place and he won't be starting anymore, or does that mean that Sanchez just played in the cup game and still will play in the league game? So that's a problem for me, because if Steele does end up losing his place, then he basically stops me from getting 3 Brighton players, if that is the case. So I would have to sell him, if not this week, then in gaming 34 for sure, and that would be a problem, because I don't really like goalkeeper changes. I would very gladly keep Steele and Raya until the end of the season, but if Steele does end up losing his place, then I would have to transfer him out next week, and probably for Ederson, for a Manchester City goalkeeper. But for this week the plan is to start him against Nottingham Forest away and hope that he plays, and if he doesn't, then Raya will come out of the bench for him, and then I can do the transfer in gaming 34. The rest of the team, it looks good for this game week. I'm very happy with most of my players. At the moment I have 2 of my 3 Arsenal players on the bench. Saka and Ben White are both on the bench, and Martinelli is currently in the team, but I will shuffle this around and see what the best combo is. I don't think Arsenal will have a good game against Manchester City away. I think Arsenal pretty much lost their title for this season, and they will have a huge drop-off, unfortunately. And this game week, I think their assets will not provide too many points. Maybe there will be a goal, but I don't see Arsenal scoring more than 1 goal, and I definitely don't see them keeping a clean sheet in this game. So that's why Ben White is on the bench. Saka at the moment is on the bench as well, and maybe even Martinelli will finish there by the end of before the deadline. Botman is also on the bench, because I'm not going to double up on the Newcastle defense once again. I would just rather have Trippier in the starting 11, and if he gets a clean sheet, that's great. If not, it doesn't really matter. And my captain for this game week most likely is going to be Haaland. Like I said, Arsenal are not very good at the moment. They concede lots of chances, and this will be a derby game, so Haaland will get lots of minutes, and I think he will score a couple of goals. Salah is a decent shout as well. He will be my vice captain most likely. Now let's go to the transfers tab and see some viable options for this game week. So if we go over here, I'm basically looking at Brighton players mostly because they have two, or I believe maybe even 3 double game weeks until the end of the season. Let me just check. So double game week 34, 36 and 37, so that's 3 double game weeks. So a triple up on the Brighton team is a must, I think, and my main focus at the moment is getting a couple of their players, and after that the focus is on Manchester City and Manchester United, who both have 2 double game weeks until the end of the season, and then Liverpool, who have 1 double game week and favorable fixtures. So at the moment my plan is to maybe transfer out an Arsenal asset, and that would have to be Saka, because Martinelli is in a far better form. And then in the Saka spot I would get a Brighton midfielder who I think should be Solly March. I think he's their best attacker, and I favor him over McAllister. And even this game against Manchester United that just finished, he had an amazing game and was probably their best asset, I would say, even though he missed the penalty at the end. So if I get him in for Saka this week, I would have 2 Brighton midfielders, and then if still loses his place, I would get a third attacker next week, or maybe Estupinian in the defense instead of Botman. So that would be for next week. So if I could possibly get Estupinian here, or if still starts, then I could go for either double up on the Liverpool defense, maybe, just based on the fixtures, or I could go for a Manchester City defender as well. And I'm quite happy with most of my attackers. I think I will keep Watkins for the time being, based on his form, and the Brighton players Salah and Haaland are here to stay probably, and Rashford until the end of the season, and then I can play around with the cheap Solanke, who I can play when he has a good fixture. I can easily bench and all of that. So yeah, my transfer for this game week is probably going to be Solly March for Saka, but I still haven't decided that, and if I do that transfer I will let you guys know before the deadline, that's for sure. So yeah, that's all that I have for all of you for today. Thank you for watching the video, and I will see you guys before the deadline, which is Tuesday, so please don't forget it. Yeah, once again, thank you, and I'll see you guys. Peace.